Let's be intentional. This idea is irrefutable, simple, but at the same time, it is a compelling concept. Being intentional means making calculated, thoughtful, studied decisions based on something important to you. When we are intentional, our choices help us to have a specific focus to take the right action. We go out our way to seize every opportunity presented to us, like if our lives depends on it. And why do we do that? Well, because it does. Our future relies on our purposeful actions and choices. Welcome to Let's Be Intentional, a space that we designed for you to help you improve your intentionality. We invite leaders who share their life stories and especially those elements that allow them to succeed. Today, in Let's Be Intentional, we have an extraordinary guest, Jeimy Arias. She accompanies us from Georgia. Jeimy, welcome to Let's Be Intentional.
Thank you, my dear Dr. Liana. I am really happy and excited to be here to be able to join you so that we can talk about Let's Be Intentional.
It is an honor for us that you generously accepted this invitation and help us be more intentional every day. So, my friends, later I will tell you more about Jeimy's professional career, achievements, and social impact. But before I pass the microphone to her, I want you to know that she is an entrepreneur and a mom on a mission to ignite purpose and passion inside others. She believes that leadership starts in our personal life first. So, okay, well, I'm taking notes here because I want to make sure that nothing goes unnoticed. So, Jeimy, let's go back when you begin developing your professional and business ideas and what led you to start those projects. Please tell us about your why.
Absolutely, my why. It goes back to my childhood. And I think that's very important because the foundation started there. I grew up in a business home. My dad was a businessman all his life. Unfortunately, he already passed away, but he left us the legacy of business. He was a businessman. The only thing is he did business in his way. The only thing that he knew how to do. And unfortunately, he wasn't there a lot of times during my childhood. And same thing with my mom. It was only working. It was always most of the time just come out, doing work. And they were not there for a lot of the important moments in my life. And growing up, even though I grew up in a business home, I didn't want to have my own business because I guess because of what I grew up seeing. And I didn't want to reproduce or multiply that in my own life. And I just wanted to be an employee. I'm going to be honest with you. My father used to tell me, you are not going to go to school or graduate from college to go work for somebody else. So he didn't want to support me going to college. So I had to kind of like make my own way to go to college, to pay for my own school and to work for him, but go to school at the same time so that I can fulfill what in that time was called my dream. A dream that I wasn't even sure about. I'm going to be honest. I was in Colombia. I am from Colombia originally, and I had my life planned out. I was looking forward to go to college, graduate from high school, go to college, and become a doctor. That's what I had in my mind. And then suddenly one day he said, we're going to the United States. So he applied for our documents. And believe it or not, when we were at the embassy in Colombia, we were sad when they said yes. Everybody was sad because they were being rejected. We were sad because they said yes for us to come to the United States because I didn't want that. I knew the type of life that I was going to have coming to the United States. It was working in my father's business and it was working in his way. So I was like scared about that. And I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to leave my life back in Colombia because I was comfortable. And let's put it that way, I was comfortable. I already had it planned out, but things change. I always say God's plans are different to our plans, and God's plan definitely was very different to what I had in mind and my family had in mind. So we ended up coming to the United States, and surely enough, all we came to do was to work and to work and to work. He had a restaurant company and he had a food truck. So it was working day and night in the cold. It was in New York. So it was not easy task for me. I was 16 years old at that time. And when we moved into New York, that's all we did. But I forced myself into the way of, I want to go to college, I want to graduate, and I did it. So I went to college for something very different. It was not medical, it was business management. So that's how my business part of my career starts. I did business management and I worked there. And one day, a few years ago, probably about 5, 6 years ago, after working in different corporations in business and being the leader for different departments, especially for finance. That's where I come from. I come from the finance field and the business field and the administration field. I was let go from my job. And they said, Jamie, we're letting you go. And I found myself at a place of, I don't know what to do with my life. My dad had already passed away at that time, and I had no idea what to do. But all I knew is that deep inside of me, there was that desire to advise, to help people, to coach, to help, to put in the work, the things like my skills of helping people, because I always love helping. And John Maxwell came my way, and the coaching side of me just pulled me into purpose. And that's how I started doing business coaching. So my why is, to be short and to make it short, is my why is to help business owners to do business in the right way, to equip them, to help them, to give a right foundation, to have a sustainable business, a practical business that they can do smarter, not harder, so that they can save the time to spend that time with who matters the most to them. Honestly, for me, it's my family. Because of my story, my family is my priority. I am very intentional about my family. So my family has to be first, God first, then my family. There's an order in my life. And if things that I do or I join or I be part of, those two aspects of my life have to be first. It's a non-negotiable. So God has to be first. My family has to be second. And that for me is important. So I have structured my business in a way that I can be intentional with my family. So that's what I do. I help business owners to build their business in a sustainable, practical way that is a business that gives revenue, but at the same time that they can save time for what matters the most. Family is a big push for me. So that's what I do. So intentionality definitely takes over on everything what I do.
Amazing, Jamie. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's something that helps us to see how from the beginning of your awareness, from the beginning of your making sure that you were doing something in life, you were so clear about what am I going to do? How am I going to put my vision and work and how I'm going to do it? Because even if you have those early experiences in life that you have to immigrate to another country and maybe your father was leading an activity and you have to be part of it as a family member, you still were so intentional in what you want to do in life. And actually, it was part of developing yourself as an entrepreneur and getting to that business area, as you mentioned to us. Your father, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, he was helping others, including the family, including you. So it's kind of like a legacy that you have with you already. You are helping others. You are trying to put others in a better perspective. In this case, you are supporting entrepreneurs and helping business people to have that clear mind of who is the person that are really going to serve. So I can see that the legacy is coming through you. And something that really grabs my attention is that you were so clear about it's something that I need to do in the future. You maybe didn't have in front of you your purpose, but you know that that was something that was coming that you have to take care of. That is a really good point. Like we know it's there, but we continue working, and you were ready when it show up.
Exactly.
That's a great point. You know what I love about what you mentioned in today's life?
Yeah.
That you link so clearly to points here that, my friends, this is a very important part of what Jeimy shared with us. She's talking about her priorities, and her priorities have all her intentionality. And that is something very powerful for us to remember and to keep in mind every day. I love that part that you said this is not negotiable. It's not negotiable. Those are my priorities. So I put all my intentionality in those areas, and that's why they work in your lives. So, my friends, as I promised, I'm going to share more about Jeimy. So, she is an international motivational business and leadership speaker and coach. She is from Colombia, as she mentioned to us. She is a facilitator and podcast host that seeks to help others to get those higher levels of achievement. But here is something important. She wants us not to compromise our personal lives and our families. And that's so powerful. So Jeimy takes personal growth and development seriously, and she's proud to be one of the John Maxwell Leadership and Maxwell Certified coaches and mentors and speakers. And she joined the organization years ago. So although nationally acclaimed, Jeimy holds a passion for helping local business. She is located in Georgia, as she mentioned to us. So Jeimy is supporting her community, the economy, of course, of that community, and ultimately seeing families around her enjoying the life they deserve and work so hard for. So Jeimy is on that mission to help business owners build practical, profitable, and sustainable business while they free up valuable time to invest in what matters most. For many is their families. That's beautiful. So you want to get in touch with Jeimy and receive from her the valuable advice on this area. She is active in social media. You can find her contact details under this video, and in our invitation, we will add all her contact information. That's amazing, Jeimy. So proud to have you here with us. So now let us know in your daily life, what are those elements or tools or resources that you are using, that you utilize, that maintain you so intentional every day?
Absolutely. I try to keep it simple, to be honest. I don't like complicated, especially because of my mission is to make it sustainable and practical. So I apply the same thing in my business. For me, my calendar is my best friend. And one of the things that I do, like I said, priorities first. So I schedule time for those priority things in my life. And I normally plan it like if I have my devotional time in the morning, that's something I do. It's like I do certain steps prior to. So I kind of like I have a process or a system. So first thing in the morning, as soon as I open up my eyes, God is in my mind. And I kind of like give how can you say an order or an action step like before I even put my feet on the ground. I talk to God first. Like that's my first part of the day. And for me, that's a way how to do it. Then another thing that I do is feeling accomplished is getting to do the one first task of the day, making my bed. It's so simple. I'm telling you, it's like it's so simple, and some people don't care. They're like, I don't care. I don't make my bed. But for me, making my bed every day, first thing in the morning, is like my first task. Aside from talking to God, is my first task. And then of course it comes my family. I get up and I do the breakfast. So I give them my first portion of the day, put my time and effort into God and my family. Once they go to work, once they go to school, my calendar is my best friend. And I usually look at my calendar like the day before to make sure I stay on task and I stay organized so I don't miss deadlines or stuff like that. So whether you're an iPhone person or a Google person or a Android person, use your calendar and schedule it. Like put it there. Even if you need time for yourself, put it there. Like if you need time with your family and it's important, schedule it in your calendar. Set that time aside, 2 hours a day, whether it's in the night or during the day, but make it a priority. So those are some of the tools that I use. Staying in communication, having open communication. I am very intentional at the time of communicating with my family. When we sit down at the table, we intentionally tell them no phones allowed at the table. And we put them on the side. And that's like our family time. So we have our dinner table, because we only have one meal together every day. And it's around 3:30 or 4 p.m. and we sit at the table. I don't schedule anything. So as a coach, I always block the time between 2:30 until 5. That's my family time is blocked. That way, I'm not giving an option to anybody to go into my calendar and schedule anything. And I didn't notice. So I intentionally go into my calendar and I block from 2:30 until 5. That's my family time. And it's blocked every single day. Intentionally, I go in. Intentionally for me is being mindful, like being aware of something that normally as a human being, you don't do it because you have to think twice. You have to make an effort to do it. That's intentionality. Something that normally doesn't come with you, like it's not natural. So you have to be intentional. You have to be aware. So for me, that's being intentional. It's scheduling time with my family. And once I have those two things in my life that are so important covered, I'm telling you, when there's a why, there's a way. So my why is that, is my family, is God. So there's a way for other things. There's always a space for my business. There's always a space for networking. And something very important is learning how to say no. We don't have to be saying yes to everything that comes our way, just because we feel engaged and in compromise and we feel like obligated to say yes. You don't have to. If it doesn't align with your values, if it takes away from your two non-negotiables or one or three, then it makes it easy for you to say no. But you have to have the clarity of your why. That's why I love that when you put this question in the interview, what is your why? Because when you're clear about your why, there's always a way. It's always easy for you. You have clarity on the things you say yes, and you have clarity on the things that you say no, and you don't feel guilty. You don't feel guilty. I was talking to someone this morning. I had a meeting, and we were talking about working and the people that is workaholic and how, we like to stay busy. I like to stay busy, but there's non-negotiables. And when that busyness interferes with my non-negotiables, then that's when I know and I clearly have to say no. Of course, sometimes we make exceptions. There's opportunities in life that come to your life only once in a lifetime, and you can say, okay, I can say yes to this, but I know I had already taken care of that important part in my life. So I can say yes. I can kind of like, how you say, how can I say it? Te puedes dar gusto, bring in the Spanish part, like you can explore, like you can just be free to say yes, because you already have taken care of that important part of your life. So being intentional for me is important. When I talk to people, Dr. Liana, when I met you, I intentionally put that time aside. I put away distractions because I want to give you my undivided attention. So I want to be intentional by asking who you are, by getting to know you more, by getting that connection. So I intentionally set up appointments in my weekday with people, specific people that I know is going to bring value to me, that probably they're going to become my mentors or I can mentor them. So I intentionally pick about 2 or 3 people a week, and I either get with them on Zoom or I meet them in person. But for me, that's the way that I feed my soul or my life, getting to know from other people, learning from other people. So intentionality for me is a big thing. And I know I said multiple things, but those are kind of like the tools that I use. My calendar is definitely my number one tool. And being aware, having a plan for your week, I think is super important. And having the clarity on your why. When you have that, I think it makes your day, your week, your month, your year even easier. So
It's so powerful. Let's look at this carefully. We those are those little big humongous things that if we don't take care of them, they are definitely making the difference. Whether you accomplish or not your things, they are part of your daily agenda. I love the part that definitely that you talk about your calendar and schedule life. That is a habit that we have to be honest that so many people don't just use it as a simple tool, but it becomes a very powerful habit. I love that you said that you are making those moments and those times that are important to you part of your family. It's not only your company, it's not only your clients, it's not only the meetings, but you are putting in your calendar your priorities. So your calendar reflect priorities that become an intentional life every day. I love the part that you're making your bed and you have those every single day moments with God, making your bed, breakfast with family. That's lovely because that reflects your priorities. As a coaches, we know that if we spend, my friends, a life, if one day with you in your life, we will figure it out. Your priorities and your intentionality and what is important to you. So I love also the part that you mentioned that you make a big effort in communication and communicating with others, connecting with them. This part of being mindful and being aware of the moment, so intentional. Let's be present, let's focus. We are living a moment, and it's something that society and people, as we're moving to be connected with other technology devices and things, people is losing to be focused, to be present. They are multitasking all the time with a little device on their hands, and they don't enjoy life, and life happens so fast that, look at this, we're about to finish another year. I love your statement. When there's a why, there is a way. If we really understand the reason why are we doing what we're doing, we will find out a way to make it happen. We are so creative. And I believe that you imply that our creativity gets so close to us when we are so clear on our purpose. Love the part, and I just want to grab a little bit more on your time on that part that you mentioned, that you make intentional meetings with people. Your networking is done with 2 or 3 people during the week, and you intentionally do it because whether you can mentor them or they mentor you. So can you share with us one of those times that you successfully intentionally meet with someone that you didn't know, but you have the opportunity and it becomes something more important in your life?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I see it from this point of view. There's people that is sitting around feeling sorry for themselves. Like, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm good for nothing. But the simple fact of you just making a plan, even if it's one person daily or 3 people a week, but let's make it simple. If every day I intentionally take my phone and I text somebody and say, good morning, I wish you have the best day today. Or you send that person a word of encouragement. Or you just ask a simple question of, how are you? You don't know what type of difference you're going to be making. And I'm going to tell this story that actually just happened to me last night. Last night, I went to church, and there is a couple that normally sits around where my husband and I sits down on Wednesday nights for Bible study. And we have a time that is called family time. And we get out of our seats and we go and greet somebody new. I usually try to go and greet someone I don't greet every time. And this couple, it's been a while I haven't said hello. So I approached the lady and I gave her a hug. And I said, how are you? And she said, I'm great. And she goes, you are always so beautiful. And I answered back and I said, you know, you are too. You are so beautiful. And she goes, nah. I said, no. Like, I intentionally stopped and looked at her in the eyes and I said, you are beautiful. You have no idea how beautiful you are. And then I turn around And I pointed at her daughter. She has a beautiful redhead daughter. She's gorgeous. It's a 2-year-old kid. And I said, you see that beautiful creation right there? That came out of you. She is as beautiful as you are. And remember that whatever you reflect, she's going to grasp it. Immediately, she said, I know I struggle with with self-confidence. I struggle with confidence. And I know I have to do better. And I told her, I know you will, because you're reflecting on her and you are as beautiful as that beautiful young lady you got right there. She immediately started crying, like she couldn't hold it. She started crying and she said, I'm so sorry. And I said, no, you don't have to. But if you don't allow anybody else to come and tell you that you're ugly, that you're not valuable, because you wouldn't allow that, don't allow yourself to tell those things as well, because you're beautiful and you're valuable and you have someone that is looking after you. This girl just broke down. It was that moment, it was that aha moment for me to intentionally stop and tell someone how beautiful and valuable she is. I probably made a difference on her last night. And for her to cry, it was an aha moment for the two of us. You never know who you are going to encounter in your life, and you can make a big difference. So a text, a phone call, just a simple how are you can make a big difference. If you do this to one person only every day, you're making a difference in the life of 365 people a year. You don't have to go and reach 20, 25 people, just one person that you
Just one person per day.
Just intentionally, you connect with somebody and you send them a word of encouragement. You don't know the type of difference. And I get with this, I found these things every day. And just with a simple, how are you? You open up a window of maybe that person was wanting someone to ask them, how are you? Because some of them, they just need, but that's why you need to have a why. You need to have a purpose in life. Because when you are going by the life, I don't know what to do with my life and I'm no good, there's no intentionality. So that's why intentionality is so important, because when we realize we're in this world for something, to make a difference in the life of somebody, we're going to be making little steps, but very valuable steps to help someone and to make a difference in the lives of others. So that's what I can say. That's one of the stories that I can tell you out of the many that I do.
Out of the many, I'm pretty sure that there are many stories in your life. And see, that's why Jeimy is a girl on a mission. So she's grabbing us into her mission. And now, my friends, all of us have a mission to just make a difference in just one person per day in their life. You can send a message, a call. We're going to do it. I love that. Thank you for inviting us to your mission. This is lovely, because in reality, it's that will create an effect that will not only change the person, because giving is the secret of receiving, but also will create a better world. If people were on a mission on the daily basis to make someone else's life better in any small or big way, so we will live in a different world.
Absolutely. And I ended up with her phone number. You know, I never, like before, I didn't have her phone number last night, and now I know her name. Now I got her phone number in my phone, and we said, okay, we need to connect. I don't know what's the future going to bring with her, but I know it's something good. I know it is a way. Now I know, hey, I can make a difference in the life of this girl's life. And God knows how much value she's going to bring to mine as well. So
exactly.
Last night, just the experience from last night, it was valuable.
Beautiful, so. Beautiful. Thank you, Jeimy. Well, my friends, it's been an amazing and productive interview. So we thank Jeimy again for her generosity and contribution to Let's Be Intentional. And we really hope that you can join us, Jeimy, in a future session. So, my friends, if you have discovered that any of these elements and resources resonate with you, you can start today to increase your intentionality as well. So please stay tuned for future updates. We will be inviting you again to our upcoming sessions of Let's Be Intentional very soon. So have an intentional day.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having me.